Hey guys, today I'm going to be unboxing the Kotobukiya Zoids 1/72nd scale Liger Zero Schneider. That's right, for the first time ever, we're going to be taking a look at a Zoids kit here on my channel. Personally, I'm not really too into Zoids for the most part. A lot of the designs don't really appeal to me, that's why I've just never really gotten into them. I did do a review of a Zoids figure not too long ago, and the reason I got that figure was because I said I thought it would be cool to pair that up with the Master Grade Gundam Astray Blue Frame D to sort of have them pose together because they sort of fit the sort of similar look. And in that video, a couple people suggested to me to try out this kit because they thought that this kit would actually work well together with the Astray Blue Frame D as well. The problem with the figure was that it was going to be hard to paint because it's a figure and not a kit, so you can't really take stuff apart that easily. So people suggested checking this kit out. I checked it out, and I think it was somewhere around like 50 bucks or something like that, which is a little bit, a little bit more than I wanted to spend for something like this. It was just kind of sort of a simple idea I had or something that I wanted to do, but I thought it looked like a nice kit, and people often ask me to check out some Zoids kits, so I thought, sure, we'll check it out. And I gotta say, before I've even opened the box, I'm very impressed with this kit because it's just huge. The box is much larger than I expected. I guess I didn't really think about that it's 1/72nd scale, so it should be pretty large, and it's actually probably going to be much larger than I expected compared to the Gundam as well, so I'll have to take that into account whenever I get around to doing that little project. But yeah, this box is very, very big, much larger than I expected, so I imagine that like most Kotobukiya boxes, it's not packed very full, but it is a really nice box here we have. Anyway, this is in the HMM line, which, as I understand, is kind of the best of the Zoids kits. It stands for Highend Master Model there, number 26 in the line, apparently. Again, just a little disclaimer here that I really don't know a whole lot about Zoids in general. I watched the series that was on Toonami like 15 years ago back in America, and it was cool at that time. Other than that, I really have no knowledge of Zoids. I've never built a Zoids kit, so I'm not going to be able to give you guys too much information. I'll just try to tell you what I know. And a lot of people have been recommending me to build this kit since I got it in a Gunpla delivery not too long ago. I got a bunch of non-Gundam stuff because I want to show you guys more non-Gundam stuff now, and so I thought, now that we're in the new 3.0 format here on my channel, I thought it'd be fitting to have the first review on the new 3.0 format to be a review of a non-Gundam kit, because I do want to show you guys more of that in the future. So here we go. This is the one you guys wanted to see, I think, the most, probably, out of the ones that I got recently. So let's go ahead and take a look around the box. Here on the side, you can see an interesting image here. I know the kind of swords on the head like point forward, so I guess that's what's going on there. This, I believe here, this is the list price for the kit. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that because it's pretty small. It's 6,800. I think that's what the list price is for this kit, 6,800 yen. And that's what that number on the side there denotes. Very heavy box here, so I'm struggling to hold it up, but as you can see, just got a bunch of pictures here on the side, different gimmicks about the kit. These swords point forward, and then even these sort of top parts of the head, sort of ears, but anyway, these things that go off the side of the head like extend back. The cockpit opens up, we have a pilot figure inside there. Front view, rear view, these vents on the side open up. The swords move around all sorts of different ways. So like I said, it looks like a really, really awesome kit, actually, so I think I'm going to be quite pleased. Here on the bottom looks like some information just about the Liger Zero. I do know just from the series that I watched that basically this is using like the Liger frame, and then it has different basically option sets that go onto it. This is one of them. So I'm not sure about this particular set. I know you can like buy the Liger frame, and then you can buy just these sets by themselves instead of like the whole kit like this. So I'm not sure if there's just a Liger Zero Schneider set that you can buy just for the frame, if that's sold separately. I don't know. And then here, over on the side, again, there's our barcode, and like I said, it's there again, so I believe that's correct, 6,800 yen for the list price. So let's open this up. I have not opened this up yet, so we're gonna check this out together. Here, I can see a lot of parts. It is actually pretty well packed, a lot of stuff in here. Some inner frame parts here, I'm guessing, and it's sort of like a bluish gray color. Actually, we'll take a closer look at all the runners momentarily. There's some black frames, so we're also going to have quite a lot of different colors there. Some light blue, some more black, some more black. Kotobukiya likes using black for inner frame stuff for a lot of their kits, I know. So more black, looks like mostly probably frame stuff. Some white, which is a little bit of an off-white. Some more black. Some more black, and then some brown and sort of gloss injected brownish gold. Interesting color there. That orange, I do really quite like this orange for this, but it's not going to stay that way. Some more sort of light blue for the blades, a bunch more orange, some red, a light blue, and some black polycaps. More black polycap stuff, more off-white, more small tiny little runners, a whole bunch of those, and more gold there. This is actually plated gold though, so that's nice. And then a bunch of more little parts there, and then here in this bag, small little tiny parts. The last Kotobukiya kit that I built was the Eva 13, and it also came with pre-painted parts. This one looks like the only pre-painted thing that we have is the pilot figure, which is pre-painted. I know a lot of people don't like to paint the little pilot figures because they're too small, so lucky for you, it's already painted. That's nice. And then we have this little orb piece. I'm not really too sure what that's about, but again, I'll hopefully figure it out when we get to the manual. So let's go ahead and check out the manual now. Wow, this is cool. The manual is in a horizontal format. That is so much nicer for the video, for doing videos. It's always hard with the Gundam manuals. They're always vertical format, and you know, it doesn't really fit the frame. Now this fits the frame perfectly, and you guys can see it really well. That's good. So here's just a bunch of information here in Japanese. I'm guessing that's about the, what do you call this? It's not a mobile suit. Anyway, a Zoid, I guess. So here's that orb thing. I guess that's going somewhere inside there and has some significance, I'm sure, but I don't really know. Here's just showing you, if you can read the katakana, you can read what all of this stuff is, what it's like technically called. Here's a bunch of line art for different stuff on the Zoid here, on the Liger. That's pretty cool as well. And again, more line art there. So that's pretty cool. Really interesting. Really nice mecha designing going on there. I'm guessing that's like kind of the main torso part of the frame. You can see. And then here's your order sheet in case you need to, if you're living in Japan anyway, if you need to reorder any new runners, you can order them individually there. And then here's our parts list. Let's kind of skip through that. Looks like here on the side it's labeled for the order. It's going to go head, weapons, bust. I guess that means like the chest, waist, foreleg, and hind leg. So definitely interesting. We're in some untested waters here. I've never built anything quite like this, so it's going to be interesting. I gotta say, just from all this amount of stuff, I'm already very impressed. There's a lot of parts here. It's definitely like more parts than even a normal master grade like Bandai Gundam kit. So here's just going through the construction. I'm not going to go through all this. So let me just see if there's any highlights I should point out. Or let's just skip to the back. Here, looks like some more interesting stuff here. Looks like in the back it's probably going to show you about just how to move around some of these parts like that. And then we have some more line art here. Very cool. And then more line art just about the swords and weapons for this kit. And then here's our color guide. So very nice big color swatches there. Again, all in katakana. You have to read that. But like I said, I'm going to be painting this up in the same color scheme as the Blue Frame D. So I don't know, maybe I'll change up the Blue Frame D to this color scheme. I don't know, or vice versa. We'll have to see. Anyway, they'll be the same color scheme eventually. And then here's showing you how to put on water slide decals. I didn't see that this comes with any water slide decals, so maybe I missed that, or what? And then finally on the back, just a bunch of reference images there. Photos of the kit and different gimmicks and things like that. So let's get into all of these runners. Well, it turns out there were water slides hiding in there just at the bottom of the box. Just these 2 water slides of this really cool zero sticker where it's like a white 0 and then black writing 0 over the top of that. Actually, it's really quite nice, and this might make a nice little marking to put one on the Liger and then one on the Astray blue frame, just to have like one common symbol there, like for the both of them, just to kind of show their team. I don't know, just an idea for my own personal thing, but that's all the water slides that it comes with. And for polycaps, these are all in black. Now the first set is PC1. You can see there we have just a handful of 6 of them on here. Then for PC2, we have 2 of these sheets and a little bit larger here for these. And then we also have PC3, which just has 4 more extra little polycaps on there. Starting off with runner A, and these are all in black, and again just frame parts here, and how it looks like it's set up is like similar to what I guess Bandai would probably do, is having like the first set of runners is all the parts for just like the Liger frame, and then like the later part is like all the new stuff, the stuff that's specific for this kit. So the first like maybe A through M, it looks like, is maybe all parts for just the Liger frame, and then after M is going to be, anyway, again, all our new parts. So these first set of runners are going to be marked as 1/72 scale Liger Zero. And then we have runner B, again just more black inner frame parts, mostly pretty large here on this runner. And then runner C, again more of the same. But as you can see, these are really super nicely detailed. So a lot of really nice details here on the inner frame. It's going to look good when you get this painted up and you have this layered between the inner frame and the armor and all of that. It's going to look really nice. The runner D is an interesting one. This looks like more frame parts, probably mostly for the legs, it looks like to me. And interesting though, we have this square section cut out here. I'm guessing that's something that's maybe specific for a different version of the Liger. And then we do have 2 of this D runner. And then runner E is finally out of the blackness here, as we have just a very light blue color here. Again, I mean, more parts for just like the inner frame kind of, but rather than black, these are in light blue. But then it's immediately back to black. For runner F here we have some ABS, just a few small black parts here on runner F, and we do have 2 of these F runners. We have runner G, just a handful of more small black ABS parts. And then runner F, again more small black ABS parts, and we do have 2 of these H runners as well. And then runner I is in just this kind of brownish color. It's sort of an interesting color, something I don't think I've really seen too often in model kits. But here is just a couple of parts. And again, just really, really nice detail here on a lot of these parts. Runner J is this molded sort of goldish color. It's a very light gold color, but it's, anyway, it's this molded in this. It's not plated, so these are parts like for the claws and the teeth on there you can see for the J runner. And runner K is more gold, but this is actually plated, and we do have 2 of these K runners. So these are a bunch, just a couple of like piston parts here basically. So cool, these are plated gold instead of the molded gold. These are going to look really nice, just little accents inside there. Then we have runner L, is the very iconic, I think, sort of red parts that are kind of like the joint caps on a lot of these Zoids kits. A lot, if not all of them, I think all kind of have this, so that's why it looks like this part is just pretty standard. It's marked as Liger Zero, but I think these are probably maybe used for other, or they must be similar, used for other Zoids kits as well. It's just all the same part, and we have 3 of these runners, so we're gonna be using a lot of these joint caps. And then runner M is back to a light blue color here, just for a couple more parts. And we do have 2 of these M runners, obviously some parts there for like underside of the toes as well. Now we're getting into some specific parts here on runner O. This is in that really cool orange color. And the marking from now on is going to change from Liger Zero. Now it's Schneider unit. So this is just marked as Schneider unit, no Liger or anything like that. Runner P is just some off-white. This is definitely an off-white. I hope it's coming through in the correct color on camera. It's looking a little bit too white, but it's definitely an off-white, sort of more cream color, very similar to the Master Grade RX-7802, the Origin Gundam. Color of that, if you built that kit, it's a similar color. And runner Q is just a small little runner, again in that same kind of cream off-white color, and we have 2 of these as well. Then on to runner R. It looks like some sort of new frame parts that are more specific for this kit. This is in like a dark, very dark blue color, so it's definitely going to be a different color than the just regular black frame. So out of the box you're going to have quite a bit of difference there. I think painting it though, I'm going to want to paint this all in like the same kind of color, whatever standard color I use for the frame. Runner S, again more parts here in dark blue. You can see some really nice vent parts and things like that here on the S runner, and we do have 2 of these as well. Runner T is back to that light blue color, and interestingly the T runner doesn't have any marking at all. This is all it is just that with these 4 little parts on here. And the U runner is also in a very, very light bluish gray color here. Basically all of our sword parts, but this is a different color from the T runner, if you can see. The T runner is definitely more blue, the U is definitely more of a light gray, but they are kind of similar. But then we go back to the light blue color here for runner V. More parts anyway on there, sword parts and things like that, and we have 2 V runners. Runner W is back to a small little sheet of ABS stuff here, just these small little parts. This is back to that dark bluish color. And then runner X is another runner that doesn't have any markings, but this is just again that off-white creamish color. And then it's interesting that they didn't put all these orange parts together like in line in the alphabet. We had 1 runner before, and now we have Y runner at the very end. It's going to be the rest of our orange parts, and we do have 2 of these Y runners. And if you'll notice, I skipped over the N runner because it's just here in this bag. I just wanted to keep it here for the time being. Just this clear orange piece for the sort of cockpit orange eyes there, and then here's that little clear reddish orange soccer ball piece, and then here's our seated painted pilot figure. So again, really cool that comes painted. You might want to go in and, if you want, you could add a little bit more detail, maybe just some panel lining, just to bring out some of the lines in that, but it's pretty good like that. You're probably safe. So that's it for unboxing the 1/72nd scale Zoids Liger Zero Schneider from Kotobukiya. Looks like a really, really cool kit. Obviously there's a lot of stuff in there, so very much looking forward to checking this out. I'll be snapping it up and then doing an out-of-box review for it for you guys, and then later on down the line eventually planning to paint this along with my Astray Blue Frame D and do just kind of a set of the 2 of these together. But anyway, for the time being, thank you guys for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, leave those down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.